Garrett visits a local winery.
And Leanne Veers talks one-on-one with the new Wilmington police chief about a new ordinance designed...
Stop, reset.
What?
This week on the County Line, reporter Luke Garrett visits a local winery, and Leanne Veers talks one-on-one with the new Wilmington police chief about a new ordinance designed to keep minors off the street at night.
And in County Close-Up, Catherine Larson speaks with Lawrence County District Attorney Matt Mangino about a website that helps protect children from sexual predators.
We're live.
We're local.
The County Line starts now. Good evening and welcome to the County Line. I'm Mike Walensky.
And I'm Elizabeth Farry. Wilmington Township is split over a decision of whether or not to implement city water into about 270 homes and businesses. That makes up about half of the township. A public hearing is currently taking place at Wilmington High School to discuss the issue. The discussion includes the price of the water system, the mandatory tap-in policy, and the Amish community members.
More local troops are returning home from Iraq. 22 members of the Pennsylvania Army National Guard will return home to Newcastle Armory this Saturday afternoon. This is the second group of soldiers from the 1st Battalion to return to our area. Last Thursday, over 100 soldiers returned to friends and family in Hermitage. This homecoming is expected to be just as exciting as last week's.
As troops are coming home, they'll need a way to celebrate. Reporter Luke Garrett has a suggestion. He takes us inside a historical barn that operates as a winery.
What does a 100-year-old barn and a love for winemaking have in common? We're here in Deer Creek Township, where that was the beginning of Wilhelm Winery.
Oh, it's a wonderful barn. It's a wonderful building. We couldn't have found a better place. It's cozy, very nice atmosphere.
In most barns, you might find cows being ready to milk, but in this barn, you'll find tanks of Wilhelm wine ready to be emptied. So how does an old barn of 100 years work as a winery with deep tradition?
It works quite well, actually, with the coolness of the cellar. You have your cold stabilization, which is needed for making wine. The area upstairs, couldn't ask for much better, for friendly atmosphere, and it works very well.
Although the old antiques in this barn are not in use, the old traditions like filling bottles and pressing wine grapes by hand make for a unique atmosphere.
Main things that we strive for is to make everybody feel comfortable, and we do, as far as I'm concerned, feel that our customers are family. Yes. If they only come once a year, when they come walking through that door, they're home. As far as I'm concerned, yes. Mm-hmm.
Reporting at Wilhelm Winery in Deer Creek, I'm Luke Garrett for the County Line.
Mike, have you ever been to a winery?
I haven't not actually been to a winery. I've been to a couple of those microbreweries where they brew beer.
Ooh.
It was a fun time.
That
But the
sounds like
winery
fun.
looks really neat.
Yeah, it does look really cool.
An old barn.
Yeah.
That's kind of neat. All right, a new curfew has been adopted in the new Wilmington borough. Reporter Leanne Veers talks one-on-one with Police Chief Carmen Picarello about what time minors have to get off the streets.
I'm at the New Wilmington Police Station with Chief Carmen Picarello. We'll be talking about the curfew law that was passed at February's Borough Council meeting. Chief, can you please tell me what this curfew law is?
Well, basically, it's a new ordinance that requires that persons, young people basically, under the age of 18, and there's been some confusion about that, but it does not involve 18-year-olds. It's persons 17 and under. That restricts the time that they can be out in public. And that time restriction is every day of the week. They are basically supposed to be at home or a place of responsibility between the hours midnight and 5 a.m.
Okay. So why did this have to be passed? Were there problems in the past?
Well, it's not that it had to be passed. We felt that there was a need for it to be passed, in that it helps to protect our young people from temptation, from getting involved in illegal activity, both drugs, alcohol, vandalism, the types of crimes that kids that age normally will get involved in if given the opportunity. But the second part of it is also to help protect them from becoming victims of crime, everything from violent crime to crimes that spin off from other people who are involved in the illegal use of drugs and alcohol and other types of criminal activity. So it was both to restrict the children's activities, it was to make the parents or guardians of those kids responsible for them, because that's a big part of it too. And then the third part is to help protect them and help keep them from becoming victims themselves.
Okay, that was Police Chief Carmen Picarilla. For the County Line here in New Wilmington, I'm Leanne Varus.
All right, thanks, Leanne. Now we're going to check in with this week's local stories.
Heather Storm has this week's 88.9 on the County Line.
Titan Radio Digital 88.9 News brings you local news now.
Good evening, I'm Heather Storm with this week's top stories from Titan Radio News on 89 FM. Westminster College grad and Survivor All-Star winner Amber Burkich will compete on yet another reality TV show. Burkich and fiancé Rob Mariano will compete as a couple in the latest edition of The Amazing Race. The new season premieres March 1st. After winning the $1 million prize on Survivor All-Stars last year, Burkich may not have to worry about retirement benefits. However, many young people do. Senator Rick Santorum is taking action right now to push Social Security changes along. He says it's important that the system continue to pay benefits for younger workers once they reach retirement age. Santorum will travel this week to sell younger Pennsylvanians on the president's plan to overhaul the current system. Local would-be political leaders may soon face a new policy, background checks. Commissioners say this will reduce the chance of any information being used against a candidate during campaigning. Voting on this amendment is set for Tuesday. And a local fundraiser hopes to help with the fight against cancer. The Hope Cancer Treatment Fund will host a fundraiser dinner Friday night. Proceeds go to Gary Zajac of Sharon, who is battling lung cancer. That was your 89 on the County Line. To keep up to date every weekday, tune in to Titan Radio for continuous news coverage. More County Line is on the way.
This week, Mike goes on the road with Aiden to a place that combines history with recreation. They try to cure a case of cabin fever as they head to McConnell's Mill State Park.
On the road, I'm Mike.
And I'm Aiden. And Mike and I kind of caught a little case of cabin fever.
So we decided to head down to McConnell's Mill State Park. A little bit of the off-season right now, but spring is just around the corner. The leaves will be budding.
So it's a nice little spring preview for you. We have some trees, we have some creeks, we have some ice.
There's a lot of ice around. It's a little bit cold, but...
Ice is nice, Mike. Ice is nice.
All right, let's go see what we can find.
McConnell's Mill State Park is one of those places you can enjoy all year round. In the summer you can camp, canoe, and picnic, and in the winter you can enjoy the wintry wonderland that are the nature trails. But just to let you know, dog training and hunting are prohibited.
The mill was bustling with all kinds of people when we arrived, just to show that the mill is a nice family gathering place all year long. We took a walk down a nature trail, and if you feel like venturing out, don't be like Aiden. Don't forget your hiking boots.
I slid. It was bad.
It was bad. You almost got hurt. Make sure you stay on the trails there.
Yeah, because you don't want to fall into the water because they're rushing, and we actually learned a story about a kid who fell into the water, but luckily they saved him.
The boy's father, noticing that Bobby was missing, had just come out of the mill to look for his son.
There was another accident at McConnell's Mill last year when a pine tree crashed through the roof of the covered bridge and almost destroyed the bridge.
But it's all fixed now, so it's all better.
Yes, it is. Luckily, they were able to fix it, so it's now open again.
Mike.
What's up, Aiden?
I think I've had enough
You look a little bit cold.
My cabin fever is cured.
Your cabin fever's been cured. All right, well, at least it worked. It was worth the trip.
It's nice out here, but it's just too cold.
It's cold.
So
It's a little
far.
cold yet, but spring is just around the corner, so we'll come back when it's warmer.
All right.
How about that? All right, that does it for this week's On the Road. I'm Mike.
I'm Aiden.
All right, join us next week when we go On the Road.
Mike, you guys crack me up every single week. It never fails. It looked really cold out there, though.
It was
Yikes.
cold. It was definitely cold. We had a good time, and there were actually a lot of people there. I was surprised.
Yeah?
So there's a lot of
surprising.
footprints in the snow on the trail and stuff. So
That's
it was a popular
fun.
place all year round. It's kind of neat.
Cool.
Now, if you're going to a McConnell's Mill State Park, you're probably going to want to take your camera with you. And reporter DJ Yoakley takes some snapshots at a local camera cottage. He looks at the transition from film to digital photographs and how it affects business at Pat's Cameras.
I'm DJ Yoakley here at Pat's Camera Cottage in Volant, where this building has actually been here since 1945, but the man himself that owns it has actually had a passion for photography for 60 years. Let's go inside. I recently had the chance to sit down with J.R. Patterson, the owner of Pat's Cameras, and here's what he had to say.
This store here, this has been here for 6 years, but I started in photography in downtown Newcastle in 1941, and I've had my own business, my own camera business since 1981.
Now, what is your preference of cameras, old school film or the new digital type?
Right now, and foreseeable future, digital is the way that photography has gone. And it came, digital came like the summer wind out of the sky, and 2 years ago, I would say 75% of my business was regular cameras. Now, 95% of my business is digital. The still cameras and the antique cameras and the collectible cameras, as I told you, they're selling on eBay, and that's usually where that market is. They're still making film, but it's about half what it was even 5 years ago. Right now, I think they predict 300 and some million rolls of film will be sold, but 5 years ago, that was more than double that number as far as film goes. Digital's here to stay, and whether you like it or don't like it, whatever you want.
As technology continues to change our time, many businesses have been hurt, but Pat's Camera continues to survive, snapping pictures for hopefully over 60 more years to come. For the County Line, I'm DJ Yoakley.
Lawrence County District Attorney Matt Mangino joins us tonight to talk about what you can do to protect your children from sexual predators. Megan's Law is a way to do this. We sent our cameras out into the community to find out what local residents know about Megan's Law.
Today I'm talking to people about what they think about the Megan's Law website. Do you have any children?
I do. I have 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls.
So what do you think about them posting the sexual predators on the internet?
I'm not really sure. That's a great question. I would be hesitant to prejudge people because people make changes and great changes. But at the same time, some people and their actions deserve to be prejudged, and so I think it raises a great question, and I'm not sure where the answer is.
I think that'd probably be a bit of an invasion of privacy. I mean, I understand the concept behind it, but I don't think that putting their name in what they've done on the internet is going to solve anything.
Do you think that sexual predators' pictures and information should be on the internet?
I do think so, because if you had a small child and a sexual predator moved into your town, you'd want to show the child the picture instead of just descriptions they would know to stay away, or if they saw that person to tell somebody.
I think this is public knowledge, and the more we know about this, the better protected we can be, and the better protected our children can be.
I mean, names definitely be okay, but pictures, that really goes into a different kind of issue. And I really don't have an opinion on it, but if I looked it up more, I think I'd be against it.
Now that we know how people feel, Catherine Larson is in the studio with Matt Mangino to help explain what the benefits of the website really are. Catherine?
Hey, Kirsten, thank you so much for that insightful county comment. Obviously, there are some mixed sentiments on having this website up, but it is a byproduct of Megan's Law, and we do have a strong advocate of Megan's Law in the studio. Joining us tonight is Matt Mangino. Lawrence County DA, thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Well, why don't you just give us a recap as to what Megan's Law is, so you can incite our viewers at home about it.
Well, Megan's Law was created
about 10 or 11 years ago in memory of Megan Kanka, who was abducted and raped and murdered by a sexual predator. And what Megan's Law does is it provides information to communities, to parents, to neighborhoods, so that they know about the potential of a sexual offender living in their neighborhood. In Pennsylvania, for instance, prior to this amendment last fall, there were only about 40 or 50 sexually violent predators that were made known throughout the entire state. So really, Megan's Law wasn't working in Pennsylvania.
So now, if I wanted to go and search this website, I get on it, and I apparently can search it by county and zip code. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, you can go onto the Pennsylvania State Police website, and you can put in your zip code. You can put in the name of your city. You can put in your county. You can even put in a name or an alias of somebody to actually look for a specific person as well. What's
been the response you've been getting? How many hits have gotten to this website? Let me put it like that.
Well, it's amazing the number of hits, actually. In the first week that the website was up, there were over 475,000 hits on the website. So people were interested in this, and families are using it to protect themselves and to protect their children. So it's been very positive.
Okay. Well, let's change gears here a little bit. There's been a lot of questions swirling a potential judgeship, and yes. Would that mean that you would be no longer Lawrence County DA, Matt Mangino? You would be Lawrence County Board of Common Pleas?
Well,
Matt Mangino, what's going on here?
Yeah, the governor actually has appointed me to fill a judicial vacancy here. I haven't been confirmed by the Senate, but that's still pending. It's actually an election year here as well, so I'm only fulfilling a term till the end of the year, so I actually have to run for that judgeship. So I'm actually running for judge as well.
So that's a 10-year position. Are you going to get to do any more prosecuting, or are you going to get to advocating for Megan's Law if you take this position?
Well, certainly if I become a judge, that's the end of my days as a prosecutor, and those days are going to end one way or the other at the end of the year. I'll either become a judge or I'm unemployed. But even as a judge, though, I will continue to advocate for the things that I think are important, especially to strengthen families and to protect neighborhoods and communities.
Okay. Also wanted to ask you a question on certainly you're a proponent of getting news out about OxyContin and methamphetamine abuse in the area. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've been doing recently in that regard?
Well, we've done a couple of things. We've just opened a library resource center. One in Elwood City. We have one at the Newcastle Public Library. It's an area where people can go and find out about drug abuse and substance abuse, and also find out about treatment options. And as a part of that, we spin off a number of forums, and we've done one on prescription drug abuse, and we've also done one on methamphetamine abuse, which was just a couple of weeks ago, which is a very serious growing problem in our region.
In the community, right? Yes. It sounds like it's pretty important.
It is.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. Again, if you want to get some more information about your DA, just go onto his website at lcdaonline.com, or you can check out his other site at mattmangino.com. And if you want more information about that Megan's Law website, check it out at psp.state.pa.us. Hey, thanks so much, Matt, for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Stay tuned for more County Line after this.
There's a better way to have fun with history. Visit americaslibrary.gov. Log on, play around, learn something.
The Lawrence County Humane Society believes in the safety of spaying and neutering your animals. Spaying and neutering can have many long-term benefits.
We at the Lawrence County Humane Society believe that all animals should be spayed or neutered. Many reasons why, but the biggest reason is that they will be a happier, healthier pet. Also, it alleviates the overpopulation problem.
Getting your animals spayed and neutered is one huge step in making sure that more animals are healthy and find loving homes.
I'm the best thing you ever had. Only thing I'm guilty of is giving you too much love, making you crazy, making you rat, making me follow me, making me suspect. Seem to think I'm playing her game. Don't you know her? This is me.
There's a better way to have fun with history. Visit americaslibrary.gov. Log on, play around, learn something.
the final score. Final record for the Titans, 15-11. The Lady Titans did make it past the first round Tuesday night. Westminster beat Waynesburg. The game much closer than 54-43 score would indicate. Lady Titans scored the game's final 14 points on their way to the conference semis, where Westminster will take on Grove City tomorrow night. You can catch it on the Titan Radio Network. That's Digital 88.9 FM and MSASportsNetwork.com. Regardless of whether or not the Lady Titans win the conference tournament, they won't be assured of a national tournament berth because the PAC only has 6 teams. However, we've heard in recent weeks that the President's Athletic Conference was looking to expand. And now, rumor has it that the PAC's 7th team could be a school as far away as Kentucky. Titans Top Sports reporter Dustin Agee meets up with Westminster Athletic Director Jim Daffler to go over the latest expansion possibilities.
As athletic director of Westminster College, Jim Daffler. Now, Coach, we met a couple weeks ago when Geneva was the rumor. We have a new player in town joining the pack. That's Thomas More. What would be the negatives of them joining?
I don't really see any negatives. I think that some people are looking at it, the geography of the situation. Obviously, Thomas More is in the Cincinnati, just across the state line in Kentucky from Cincinnati. But they don't see it as a problem. They're the ones going to be doing the most travel. And I think most of the PAC teams are willing to make that trip. They already are traveling out of the region for other competition, and so I don't see that as a big negative.
Now, you said geography isn't a bad thing. What are the benefits of them joining into the pack?
Well, the immediate benefit would be is that they're already Division III, unlike Geneva and some of the other schools we mentioned, and they would be immediately eligible for membership into the PAC. They're already NCAA members, and then that means the process of getting the automatic qualifier, being the 7th team for our automatic qualifier, would really be sped up. We'd have that in 2 years if they were able to join in this fall.
Okay. Now, what would be the likelihood of them actually joining into the pack? Is it looking good so far?
It seems to me that on the surface, things are progressing well. The ADs meet Monday, February 28th. They'll discuss it. The presidents meet in April. I'd like to think that everything will be decided by that time. I haven't heard too many negatives at this point.
All right. Well, thanks for being here with us, Coach. As you said, the meeting will be on Monday, and we'll bring you more details as they come out. We'll go kick it back to you in the booth, Sebastian.
Thank you very much, Justin. A good report there. And as Justin said, we will continue to follow that story. Geneva team that's been mentioned, possibly some of the other NAIA schools who may want to move to NCAA Division III that are in Western Pennsylvania may also want to join the President's Athletic Conference. We move from college basketball and college sports to high school basketball now. Steve McNeese and Mike Burkett are cousins. They are also very good basketball players for rival high schools, Shenango and Laurel. One-on-one turned into a little bit of a mismatch this week as Allison Gasper goes 2-on-1 with 2 of the best high school ballers in Lawrence County.
Hi, I'm Allison Gasper, and I'm here with Mike Burkett and Steve McNeese. And I'm going to talk to them about their basketball careers. They're rivals, and they're also cousins. Mike, you're a senior. Where are you going to go to college?
I plan on attending Robert Morris.
Do you plan on playing basketball?
No, I'm going to play football there for him.
And Steve. Steve's a junior, and do you have any idea where you want to go to school yet?
No, not really. Just pretty much open to anything.
Now, I was talking to them earlier, and they both said that they scored 1,000 points. How many points did you score in your career?
Around 1,800.
And how many points do you have so far?
About 1,500.
Do you really want to pass him?
I wouldn't mind it.
What other stats did you guys come close to comparing in?
Nothing really, because he's a point guard and I'm really a big man, so I rebound, he dishes the ball, so.
And you guys played each other this year. How many times did you play each other?
Twice.
And who won those games?
He won the first one and I won the second one.
How many points did you have in those games, do you remember?
I don't know. I know the second game I had 15. First game, I don't know, 20-something.
How many points did you have?
I had 28. I had 28 both times.
So how did your family feel? Who played better? Did they talk about that with you?
No, not really. They just kind of, they let us compete. They don't really say too much because they can't really defend one of us.
Does your family go to all your games?
Yeah, they, a lot of the people that are connected with both of us, they'll go to a game for me and then a game for him, and a lot of them were glad that we split. That I won one, he won one, and it was good.
Well, guys, good luck in the future with everything in both sports, and I'm Allison Gasper for the County Line.
That'd be a heck of a one-on-one game to witness. I'm sure that both those guys will probably be very excellent athletes at the college level. Mike Burkett playing football and Steve McNeese playing basketball. That does it for the County Line. Keep in mind that you can catch the Lady Titans in action Friday night on Titan Radio, Digital 88.9 FM. I'll be there calling the game with Steve Brink. That's it for Titan Town Sports. Stay tuned. More County Line coming up after this.
Crackhead, drug dealer, gang member, all kicked out of the community with the help of kids
like me.
You can help prevent crime. Call 1-800-722-TEENS to find out how.
It's time we're judged by what we do,
not how we look.
Hi everybody, this is Tim McGraw for RAD, recording artists, actors, and athletes against drunk driving. You know, I spend a lot of time on the road and I see some funny things out there, but one thing that's not so funny is someone who's about to drive drunk. So take the keys and be a friend, because friends don't let friends drive drunk.
I wasn't going to school because I was making money stealing cars. Well, I was 10 when I first got involved with drugs. I skipped school because, you know, nobody cared.
When I first got pregnant, school was not important to me, so I dropped out.
Well, if I don't finish school, then I can't go to college. I mean, that's the whole point of what I want to do with my life.
I still need to go to school to make it for myself.
I think I'm happier now. I know I'm happier now.
That does it for this week's County Line.
Please join us next week when Kirsten Gaitis tells us more about the proposed city water system for Wilmington Township.
The County Line's Chris Zinkum will give us an inside look at how a local congregation is recovering after losing their church to an explosion.
And of course, Aiden and I will be going on the road again to another exciting location in either Lawrence or Mercer County. Now, Liz, did you catch the PAC playoff game on Tuesday night?
Actually, I did. I got to see the girls play. They are so good. Now, I tell you, I'm not really good at watching the guys, because, you know, I used to play basketball in high school,
okay,
so I love watching the girls.
Watching the girls, all right. Well, yeah. We're going to replay that for you. Coming up next on the Westminster Cable Network, the girls play against Waynesburg, and the men's will face Teal. So replay that game coming up next on the Westminster Cable Network.
Thanks so much for joining us.